Hello, aspiring hunters. Welcome to the Hunter Experience. I know you're all about everything involving the incredible Killua Zoldyck, but have you ever stopped to think about how it would be if he had the chance to train with his great-grandfather, the legendary Maha Zoldyck? Well, today we're going to talk about that, and I'll try to show you how this training could be one of the most insane and epic experiences in anime history. Now, before we start, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever imagined Killua, this super talented kid with all the potential of the Zoldyck family, sharpening his skills with the guy who's considered one of the most powerful assassins of all time? Like his great-grandfather, Maha Zoldyck, the sinister old man who even made history by facing Netero himself? It's mind-blowing just to think about it, right? Well, let's dive in, check out the possibilities of this training, which I think would be nothing short of epic. First, let's understand who this Maha Zoldyck is, because Killua training with him is more than just a cool idea. Maha isn't just any member of the Zoldyck family. He's the grandfather of Zeno Zoldyck and the great-grandfather of Killua, meaning he's one of the oldest and most respected members of the lineage. And if you know Hunter x Hunter, you know the Zoldicks aren't just a rich and powerful family. They're the most feared assassins in the world, with a killing for money tradition that's in their DNA. Maha, my friend, is one of the most insane assassins that ever existed, and he's even had the pleasure of facing Netero, the guy who was, for a long time, the strongest Nen user in the world. What else makes Maha so special? He's a Nen user of the Enhancer category, one of the most powerful and difficult to master. On top of that, he's one of the few who managed to open the Test Gates, the famous assassin doors that ensure only the most skilled members of the Zoldyck family can pass through. Of course, this shows how strong he is, but just imagine the level of skill Killua could achieve by training alongside someone like that. Yeah, my friend. It would be a whole new world of training. Killua, as we know, is already a beast, right? He has agility and intelligence that are on another level. Since a very young age, he's shown impressive assassination skills, along with a Nen control that even left Gon speechless. But what if Killua had the chance to train with Maha? How would that meeting of such different generations go? Let's think about it together. Maha, with his decades of experience, would probably have a totally different approach to Killua's training. He wouldn't be the soft type of master, you know? I think Maha would be pretty strict, demanding much more from Killua than any other master ever did. Imagine the pressure Killua would feel under the supervision of a guy who's faced Netero and is still alive to tell the story. It would be like a trial by fire for Killua, a real battlefield for him to overcome his own limitations and reach a new level of power. I bet Maha wouldn't waste time with formalities. He'd have found a way to make Killua feel the weight of his lineage and all the potential he carries. And of course, Killua, though he might be a little reluctant at first, would realize that this training would be essential for his growth. After all, we know how ambitious he is and how he wants to be the best at everything. The first thing that comes to mind when we think about this training is, without a doubt, Nen. Maha, being an enhancer, has absolute mastery over his power, and this would be a great opportunity for Killua to learn even more about Nen manipulation. I believe Killua would learn to work with his Nen in a more aggressive and powerful way. While his training with Zeno already gave him incredible technical control, training with Maha would focus more on expanding his raw strength. If Killua already has impressive speed, agility, and quick thinking, just imagine what he could do with the boost of enhancer skills. It would be a training focused on improving his ability to apply power instantly without losing the agility and control he already has. I think Maha would also challenge Killua to deal with pain and pressure in a much more intense way. He would be the type of master who'd make Killua push through his mental limitations, not just physical ones. Maha, being an experienced assassin, would definitely use methods that mix his ability to kill with his Nen manipulation to force Killua to evolve quickly. Killua, with his brilliant and agile mind, would likely adapt quickly, but it would be the kind of training that would make him explore his limits to the fullest. In addition to Nen, physical combat training would be an essential part of learning with Maha. Let's not forget that Maha isn't just a Nen master. He's an elite assassin, which means he probably has combat techniques that go way beyond what Killua is used to. Killua already has a great fighting style, blending his speed with lethal and strategic strikes, but Maha, being an old-school assassin, has a much dirtier and deadlier repertoire of moves. Killua would learn how to fight more cunningly, not just relying on strength, but also on surprise tactics and lethal precision. I even imagine Killua learning to use traps, unexpected moves, and more complex assassination techniques. One example would be the use of improvised weapons, something Maha probably mastered very well. Imagine Killua already good at hand-to-hand combat, learning to adapt to any situation and using the environment to his advantage, just like Maha would in an assassination mission. This would give Killua a strategic edge in any future battle he faced. Now, the most interesting part of this theory is the relationship between Killua and Maha. As far as we know, Maha doesn't have strong emotional ties with his family. He's described as cold, distant, and focused only on his mission as an assassin. He has no emotional connection to other members of the Zoldyck family, not even his grandchildren or great-grandchildren. This makes his relationship with Killua even more fascinating. I think Killua, who is already quite emotionally isolated, wouldn't see Maha as a traditional grandfather. On the contrary, he would probably view Maha as a kind of reference, almost like a rival in some ways. Killua has a very strong spirit of overcoming challenges, and Maha would be the perfect example of someone he would need to surpass to reach the top. But at the same time, I believe Killua would begin to realize that Maha, no matter how cold and distant he was, somehow cares about the continuation of the Zoldyck family and the strength of its members. Maha wouldn't train Killua on a whim. He would see potential in his grandson to take the Zoldyck name to an even greater level. Killua, in turn, would understand this over time, and perhaps that would help him see his own lineage in a more complex and even more proud light, despite everything he's been through. Oh, and one thing that many people always wonder is, why has Maha never truly appeared in the anime? With all the hype surrounding him, his status as one of the most powerful assassins in the world, and his direct connection to the Zoldicks, it's strange that he hasn't had a more significant role. I'll tell you the possible reasons for this, and I think there's a lot of interesting stuff behind it, so stay tuned. A very important reason for Maha not appearing is the focus of the story. Hunter x Hunter has a complex narrative full of layers, with many characters and plots that intertwine in different ways. The story of Killua and the other characters is the heart of the anime, and while the Zoldyck family is important, they are more like pieces on the larger chessboard than central figures. I believe Maha was a character created to build the mythology around the Zoldicks, but not necessarily to be an active piece in the story. The author already has many powerful and influential characters to develop, like Zeno, Illumi, and of course Killua. Focusing on Maha, especially in a plot so full of characters like Hunter x Hunter, could overshadow other moments and storylines that are more directly connected to Killua and his friend's journey. Togashi seems to prefer leaving Maha as a secondary figure, like a shadow that permeates the story without really being its center. Anyway, guys, the idea of a training session between Killua and Maha Zoldyck is simply awesome. It would be a mix of agility, intelligence, and raw power that would undoubtedly take Killua to a whole new level of strength and understanding. And of course, this master-student relationship would be at the very least complex, as Killua has a unique personality, and Maha is a guy who cares much more about the effectiveness of an assassination than affection or emotions. But if I had to take a guess, I'd say this training would have a profound impact on Killua, not only as a fighter, but also as a person. It would be a turning point in his journey, and maybe even a way for him to better understand his place within the Zoldyck family. And who knows, maybe this would be the push he needs to finally embrace his true potential and become even more extraordinary. Well, that was my thought on what it would be like for Killua to train with his great-great-grandfather, Maha Zoldyck. What do you guys think? Leave your comments on what you imagine this training could be like and how it could impact Killua. See you next time, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel because it helps a lot. Thanks.